All right, welcome back. So we're talking about, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the TB Joshua breaking news?
Not yet.
Not yet. So I'm just
That's
going
the
to read
honest.
it to you. Yeah, that's an exclusive because everybody's probably going to touch on this tomorrow. But I'm reading this from the leadership, from leadership.ng. Is leadership, let me ask you, is Leadership NG new? Is that a new newspaper in
No.
Nigeria?
Leadership newspaper has been around for close to 20 something years now. It was
Really?
circulating. Yeah, they started publishing um, um, around 2001, 2002 in Abuja.
Okay, that's why. That's why. That's why.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
began the nationwide spread.
Got it. Got it. So I'm going to read this and then we'll talk about it real quickly. It says BBC documentary exposes alleged atrocities and cover ups by late TB Joshua, SCOAN. The British Broadcasting Corporation is poised to release a 3-part investigative documentary outlining the alleged atrocities and sexual crimes committed by the late Pastor Temitope Balogun Joshua, widely known as TB Joshua. Joshua passed away on June 5, 2021. As part of the investigation, the BBC interviewed at least 30 former members and workers of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, SCOAN. The first segment of the documentary is slated for release on January 8th. That will be Monday, tomorrow. The 3-part documentary exposes the covert lifestyle of the deceased SCOAN founder, detailing instances of abuse, harassment, rape, manipulation, and staged miracles. Sources informed the BBC that although the church was aware of all the allegations, they never investigated them. They alleged that the sexual crimes spanned over 2 decades. Part of the documentary reviews how SCOAN shielded its congregation from the truth about the collapse of one of the church's guest houses in 2014. A video repeatedly shown to members on Emmanuel TV depicted a brief clip of the structure with what appeared to be an aircraft flying over it. SCOAN is situated in the Ikotu Egbe area of Lagos State and grew from a local evangelical church into a multi-million-dollar Ikotu Egbe, and grew from the local evangelical church into the multi-million-dollar establishments with worshippers from around the world. Emmanuel, a former worker of SCOAN, revealed to the BBC that the narrative about an aircraft was entirely false. He asserted that the church building had a structural defect. Additionally, Ray, a British woman who attended the church and was a disciple, corroborated this claim. She added that despite professional advice against it, Joshua insisted on raising the building, which had an inadequate foundation for its constructed floors. So that's something we've seen in the last. That news was being broken in the last 6 hours.
Yeah, that's a major tragedy. Let me tell you that there has. Let me isolate issues of false miracles. Mm-hmm. Let me talk about the structural defects that led to the collapse of the hotel facility at Synagogue Church of All Nations, and then the underlining the other issues bordering on rape, coercion, abuses, and all that. We must blame some of these things on official cover-ups in Nigeria. Of course, you remember when TB Joshua died, how Femi Fani-Kayode took to the podium like 2-3 minutes of fame. You know, he's a man that has always been in the limelight. In fact, when we first started SharpEdge News, he used to be a contributor. We published copies.
Oh, really?
Yes, we published copies of contributions from him. And You give it to you give it to Femi Fani-Kayode when it comes to erudition, when it comes to eloquence. But sometimes you want to wonder what kind of man this is. 1 minute, he is talking about persecutions of Christians in Nigeria. In another breath, Femi Fani-Kayode will be the person justifying every form of official domination by people who avow other faiths in Nigeria. So Femi Fani-Kayode, at the funeral of TB Joshua, eulogized him and then blamed everybody for trying to pull him down, that he was a shining star from Africa. No, I beg to disagree. Whatever Africans are celebrating today as miracles. Remember, on another platform, we were talking about faith healing and all that.
Right.
God heals. Unless you want to turn yourself to an enemy of the public in Nigeria. But who really cares? Because most times the public in Nigeria is often wrong. Majority of our people are often wrong. They are hooked on what Karl Marx described as the opium of the poor, of the masses, religion. Right. And then it's all about dogmas, it's all about routes, it's all about unfounded ethos. So, most of these things are devoid of reasoning. Everything Europe confronted in the age of enlightenment. You remember the scam of the Catholic Church. Remember the scam of the Anglican Church. I'm an Anglican, by the way. But there were more moments in our history as people of faith that you find people scamming masses, subjugating them, and then using religion as a tool of domination. You find it in the Middle East, you find it in Europe, and lately it is the pervasive thing all over Africa. I don't want to be mentioning churches whose pastors will tell you they drove cars from one point to another. Long stretch of journey without petrol in their vehicle. That is baloney. The same attitude was what happened with TB Joshua. Honestly, we can have this conversation with ourselves. A former professor or a former lecturer at the old Ondo State University, Atrocities, in the Department of History. If I just mention Bamidele, most students, most of my contemporaries who were in Atrocities, say from 1989 to 1993-94, they will remember the man I'm talking of. He was a pioneer staff of Synagogue Church of All Nations. He left when he could no longer stand all the deceptions going on there. Another
so obviously TB Joshua is it what they call benefactor? Somebody who benefited from that broken system.
He was the chief perpetuator, and he had active enablers. They are all over Nigeria. You look at the false Jerusalem they have set up everywhere. Faith is the only industry that sells in Nigeria. Private elementary schools, private high schools are the things. In America, you go to institution, it is because you want to address deficiency. For example, look at Donald Trump. He never was able to compete with people in public schools. He ended up in a so-called academy, which he always described as a military academy. This was a prep. And when people ended up attending preps, it's because they are looking for a way of remedying their academic. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that it is wrong to go to extramural schools or classes and all that. But it is, it is meant, it is designed to brush you up, bring you up to a standard that you ought to have been. ab initio. So, Mr. Aramude, I won't give the other name, but senior journalist, that was the man who at the time took me to meet the former vice president of Nigeria, Abubakar, one Christmas in 2010, to have an exclusive audience with at his house in Ikoyi, or in his house in Ikoyi. So, all these people who used to be part of Synagogue Church of All Nations, they told me in clear terms that stuff beyond the ordinary were going on there.
Yeah.
How else would, in spite of the fact that the mishap at Synagogue Church of All Nations was going to cause, in fact, it led to a major diplomatic face-off between Nigeria and South Africa. So many people from all over the world died there. But look at the other obvious antics, games played, the kind of deception that TB Joshua foisted on people who did not understand what they believe as Christians. He was always targeting dying heads of state and would promise them healing, would please them of millions of dollars. Yet, the miracle of survival never really happened. Kamuzubanda.
So let me get this straight. They get Nigerians at every level when it comes to this promise of afterlife, longer life.
Yes, I do not know why people would not think of having a season of planting and not think of harvest time. You are on earth here, you've been born here. At some point, stop worrying yourself whether you live long or you don't live long. After all, pregnancies, having without anybody even administering what is it called, abortion pills or processes. Pregnancies, sometimes as a result of accident, get terminated. So why is it that all of us who are yet lucky, we are here? We get curious about.
We're literally one out of every 400 million lucky.
Oma Bongo was dying, an old man. TB Joshua promised him healing and longevity. Somebody who was a despotic ruler on his country. So what more time did he need? They brought him there. Eventually, he died. Arthur John Mills, the former president of Ghana, was brought there. You know, all these things happen to promote the optics of deception. Oh, we can do it. The other day I told you, I said, as somebody who is legally blind, you don't think I need miracle to be able to see clearly. But they
might say you are shooting yourself on the legs now. Maybe it won't be possible since you are speaking seemingly actively against it.
It is what they always say. Because they know they cannot do it, they are impossible. Are they God? They are not God. God can do that. But maybe I'm even succumbing to their standard in saying that it has happened. Why don't I enjoy whatever life brings my way now? And then so that I can have this mental victory.
So you can actually enjoy the life. So you don't miss out on the life itself.
Well, it is natural to want to do everything. You drive. I'm not able to drive. I want to go to some places with some measure of independence. I'm not able to do all those things. Would I have wanted to do that? Certainly. But if I'm not able to do that, no qualms. Life continues. Let us enjoy what the present situation gives to us. So all these things said, and then look at the way, because some of these my former senior professional colleagues, they told me how coloring powder will be mixed, and then you remember all those treats on television in those days, say somebody had vomited some
They said they pooped. They said they have pooped. Igbe.
And somebody was dancing.
They throw up.
On somebody's head. All kinds of claims. Only in Africa, only in Nigeria. Do you know that some of our folks come to Europe, they come to America, they are stuck with that kind of
They are.
thinking.
The mindset. Yeah, the mindset is stuck with
Yes,
them.
they're incapable of freeing themselves from this kind of situation. People came out, they said TB Joshua was doing this, he was appearing to them, to people in dreams and all that. I'm like, okay, paranormal situations. Let us conduct honest inquiry to whatever this man
So,
was up
so,
to.
so let me ask you, sir, Chief. Let me
Yes.
ask you. Let me ask you. What are you anticipating with this documentary that's coming out?
Well, good that BBC is bringing it out, but BBC too is capable of a double standard. Look at the scandal that broke the
That's a
other
good
day.
point.
Yes, they said the reporter had carried out investigative stuff on the certificate of Bola Tinubu, but it all was an arranged situation, and they
Dori
never
Iro.
even came out. Yes, they never came out in an unequivocal way to say where they stood on all this. And today, you see how they have permitted the same administration with its own loads of cynicism and
Right.
and all kinds of doubts on the part of the public to want to pretend like they are tackling academics for that. Look at how much what you put into earning your degrees in America. You see what that administration in Nigeria was claiming. Oh, any American degree of diploma can be printed anywhere. How can you rubbish? They cannot even the kind of effort, the kind of work that goes into high school graduation or whatever in America. You cannot even compare between that and the standard with some Nigerian universities. But they always love to feel good. People who, with the deliberate destruction of the academic system in Nigeria, who ought to be rejected altogether as not belonging to the contemporary world, as not being relevant.
Anyway,
They are the
Chief,
ones that
we have a couple of other stories to cover. So because I know you can go on and on and on, right?
The TB Joshua's expose, a good one, but I think it's rather a bit late. And if it's gonna lead to anything, let the
Oh, it's
officials who
late.
connive the TB Joshua to hide the facts, let all of them face judgment. TB Joshua
Right.
is
Let's
gone.
name some
But
names. Let's name some names.
yes, you can also try him in his grave. Try him on earth, let him also face the judgment of God.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the comment. We had some comments here. Let's see. Chinye, how far are you there? Chinye says FFK usually talks out of both sides of his mouth. That's your guy, Femi Fani Kayode. She said a green slimy snake in the green grass. Jesus. Chindima says religion is the opium of the masses. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Marry these two ideas together and you have a disaster. Yeesh. Yeah. She said BBC is also corrupt. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we can't trust any media houses. You have to use your own brain when you're listening to any of this kind of stuff. But I mean, it's safe to say that they're probably going to pull out some stuff that we kind of already knew before now. But like you said, maybe too late if they're not going to try real life people that are here. You know,
they should have done that while TB Joshua was alive, so that he can defend himself. But TB Joshua was full of all kinds of stuff. Even whenever I was talking those days, I always find it so difficult to grasp whatever he was saying. I don't know.
I never listened to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked the quarrel. I picked the quarrel at the barber salon. I had gone there to get myself a nice cut. And then they started playing this TB Joshua.
Oh yeah, they do that. They do that a lot of stores here, a lot of African stores here.
Oh yeah, I said, you guys, you are violating me. This minute, I don't want to hear this thing because this guy is nothing other than fake fraud.
Let me share this with you. I was gonna move on, but since you mentioned that, let me just share this with you really quickly. One of my big brothers, from way back here in the United States, he had an African store. And my wife patronized him and his sister. They owned the store together heavily at the time. And But anytime you go, they have a TV in the corner, one of those box TV in the corner at the top. It's consistently playing TB Joshua Live. This was before YouTube Live, but somehow they had some kind of dish network or something back then. I'm talking about 15 years ago or so. So they will be playing it, and then the manual TV, yes, and then he would go on to tell us this story. Emmanuel TV, yeah. And then he would go on to tell us this story one time. Like, I think it was, I'm not sure, I'm trying to remember now, but I think he was trying to prove to us that this guy, he has, he's a powerful guy. Some lady entered the store one day and literally grabbed the knife and started chasing the girl who attended to people when they come into the store, and started chasing that person around the store. And that was their proof that TV, whatever that person was saying in the TV, was powerful enough to initiate a deliverance of some kind of Ogbanje spirit in that person. It was just
it is all baloney, hogwash. Before TB Joshua, you ask Nigerians, there was this man who ran what he called Universal College of Regeneration, otherwise known as Jesu Oyigbo.
Jesu Oyigbo, yeah. Yes.
You remember the song Mi o mo Jesu Oyigbo, Mi o mo Jesu Agege, Jesu Timomo.
Yeah, I know that song, yeah.
This Jesu Oyigbo man, remember all those things he used to do. He became rich, and I think they said he was an Ijebu man, but he was doing all kinds of things. And
of course, now
at some point, he will impregnate his own biological daughters, and those ones,
Jesus Christ,
they all kinds of stuff in the name of Jesus. Remember the Jones stuff in America here, the David Corey thing that happened in Webco. Remember, people like Guru Maharaji. Nobody, even as we're talking of this TB Joshua Ozo now, allegations are trailing the activities of Guru Maharaji.
Yes.
At the outskirts of Ibadan, the Lagos-Ibadan highway there.
Yeah, I saw him on TV one time. I'm like, I didn't know this guy is still alive.
The Nigerian government using religion as a major dose of hypnotizing people and keeping them in subjugation and making sure they follow like the mumu we all are. They will not go there to check out all the allegations of whatever has been going on there. But you know what? You don't believe all of them for what they claim. They are there, the big pastors. They're just profiteering on the sweat of the poor.
Like Chidima said, it's a matter of power and absolute powers. And when you have those things in place and you mix them together with human beings that feel like they can get away with stuff, anything goes. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments.
I agree with Shidi.
Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the chat, in the comment later on. If you're watching a replay, let us know your thoughts about this TB Joshua thing that's about to go crazy. But we will be right back.